Hello. This is Curious in Wyrdoland. And we had a channel called the Galactiv last year that we were doing these reports on from, but have decided to join up with Curious in Wyrdoland. And so today we welcome one of my dearest friends, Miss Caroline Main. Well, Mrs., but she always just seems like a young lady to me. Never ages. Those magical ladies don't. And Caroline has the wonderful ability of channeling the universal energies, and she draws either for your own personal soul or for your animal or for the world or energies of the world. She can channel these images to translate what she sees that can really kind of open our eyes and help us see what's going on. We've gone back in some of our episodes on the Galactive and even gone back to times when she's predicted certain things were going to happen and found that she's very accurate in a lot of things. So it's so much fun to have her come on the show today and have her soul drawing that she has recently done. Let's see, I believe it was, did you say it was last Thursday on November 31st?
Yes.
The date that she channeled it. And I'm going to have her tell you a little bit about what she does, how she does it, and why, and show off her work and give us a little so we can be prepared for the days coming in. So, Caroline, welcome. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Mindy. I am so excited to be here to share this message. So I do soul drawings. I'm a visual artist too, and I've also always channeled spirit guides and energies for the highest good. I decided one day years ago to combine the two. So it's a piece of artwork that's sort of a collage or a map of sorts that I simply just put what spirit shows, and it comes to me in image in visions and feelings. I'm an empath, so sort of I get these sort of empathic emotions attached to it as well. Um, I have a Instagram page where I post these, and I had one that I did last or this past January for this year. Um, and I have on some stuff that have come to pass already. But I basically will write down the names. So whoever it is I'm tuning into, whether I do one for a person or for an energy. I put down for the Earth, so I put down Mother Gaia, the Earth, all the countries, Europe, United States of America, South America, Africa, Antarctica, all of the countries and continents, right? And I rub my hand across it, and I start getting these images appear in my mind. So I want to show you guys one that I did recently. I like to just do an energy update for the highest good, kind of an update to tap into the field and just see what's coming up for the near future. So Spirit doesn't tell me when exactly. I don't know dates. I don't know exactly what day or anything that would happen, but it's sort of patterns that are emerging right now as the energies are evolving and moving. So if you see the drawing very clearly here, does it look good, Mindy?
Yeah, yeah, it
Okay,
looks great.
perfect. So this is I do use colored pencils with this. So I'll kind of just talk about what kind of appeared first. So the first thing that appeared was this blue section right here and these three pieces here. This is a dam. So the dam on a river that kind of keeps the water from coming down. I had a vision that was inside of it. And these are three giant pipes of water that I think some of the water comes in, like goes up from the top to the bottom and bottom up. It's something like that where the water's being directed. And the spirit said with this image, the dam comes crashing down. Now, spirit sometimes talks in metaphor or simile, depending on what it is. I just simply channel and just a conduit to the message, but it could be taken literally that maybe there will be a dam coming down or some sort of accident with a dam, or figuratively that something has been kept kind of restricted and the flow will be able to emerge as a dam or blockage is taken down. So that kind of image came to about to this soul drawing. Also, I've had multiple soul drawings, even the last couple, where China is appearing in the soul drawing. Now, I did one a while back that showed something with Taiwan. So it showed military presence in Taiwan. It almost felt like it's some sort of invasion or a plan of invasion. This one, so this is the country of China. This is a dotted line, and this is a line with red. The red line is their plan that they want to do. The dotted line is what they make everybody else think that they're going to do. So it's sort of they're like, oh, we're going to do this, but they're actually going to do this instead. So it's talking about China's plans. Um, the Mormon Church showed up in the soul drawing,
Drawing.
associated, yeah, with the American Red Cross showed up. So I'm not sure what that means, other than maybe there could be an event or something that happens that's involving the Mormon Church and maybe other organizations like the American Red Cross. American Red Cross is an organization we always think of that they do medical care. Maybe they come, maybe there's an earthquake or some sort of event that the American Red Cross attends to. So that came up in an associated image. We have,
You said
huh?
that was associated with the Mormons?
The Mormon Church, yeah. The what came up in my mind was the Mormon temple. So that's like a symbol of the entire Mormon organization worldwide. Is the church in Salt Lake City being the first one that was made.
Okay. And then, I'm having a hard time seeing your drawing on the
Oh,
edge on, so bring it maybe towards your face more, actually.
okay. Like
There,
this?
correction. Perfect. Yep. Yeah, we couldn't see the China part really. Now I gotcha, but you're frozen. Are you there? Shit. Are you there, girl? Um, shoot, what's going on? Oh, there we go. There you are.
Okay, perfect. Sorry, guys and gals and people. So, um, you were saying that you were asking me about what I talked about with this, the Mormon Church?
Yeah, I still can't see it though.
Oh, okay. It's right
Right.
here.
Yep, perfect.
The
Beautiful.
American Red Cross symbol.
Okay. What do we
So, huh?
I said, "Awesome. What do we got next?"
Okay, so yeah, so we have a parachute. Um, I saw an image of somebody on a parachute. They're flying through the sky and they crash into something. Some sort of accident with they're colliding
Oh.
into something. So that came up. And a noose, like somebody being hung with a noose, sour milk. So milk going sour, like rotten, something just not right. And the state
So
of Iowa appeared
mhm.
and sheep. Something appeared with that it's going to involve something with sheep. It could be literal, something with sheep illnesses, or figuratively, we have um, people that sort of follow a certain type of paradigm that it shifts and changes in Iowa. Something with Iowa. The
Mm,
spirit doesn't always say all the answers. I just repeat what's being shown. So the overall theme, so whenever I do a soul drawing, I do an overall theme and I put the word that is closest to that. What is that energy saying? The energy right now is hope, hope, being hopeful. So we
great.
have, huh?
I said, "That's great. Keep up our
Yeah,
hope."
yes, keeping up, being hopeful, despite any kind of things that going on worldwide. Spirit just simply shows these energies as they stand right now. Future can always change depending on what we presently engage in as a society, as a collaborative species. Um, but these are what's going on right now. So we have injections and cancer rates. So we've had a lot of different things happen, the last couple years with the pharmaceuticals, and um, they simply showed to me that there's going to be some illness increases, specifically cancer rate increases, associated with certain medications and um, increases of vaccinations and things like that. So that's all I simply want to say about that, other than just kind of be aware that uh, when we have when we have something that goes around not that's a new kind of medication, then sometimes we don't know long-term side effects of that. So that's what Spirit is showing, sort of a cancer rate increase on that. Um, Heat crisis. So I don't know if you see this match right here.
Which one?
So this right where my finger is,
Oh, yep.
there's a match with a flame. It's heat crisis.
Okay.
So heat crisis, because they also showed right here, button up. So like winter, like very cold, very cold. So I don't know if there's going to be some sort of energy or heat crisis that some people won't be able to have enough power to heat their homes, or there won't be enough energy to do that. So something like that came and kind of showed itself in the soul drawing. We have this right here is one of those smoke bomb things. I'm not actually sure what they're called officially, but it's a thing that you've seen in probably different movies, like military movies and things like that, where they throw this can looking device into a room and it just creates a huge smoke cloud that makes it so people can't see very easily what's going on in that room or in that place. So I saw that. So maybe there's some smoke screens being put up, like, um, you know, there's a lot of smoke around something that you can't it's not clear what's going on. An animal badger is symbolized in this soul drawing, and so is a tiger. So we have three animals actually. We also have a peacock that's associated with Asia. So peacock, badger, and tiger. So each animal has because different animals, when they come out in readings, they have different meanings behind that type of animal and what they symbolize and what their traits are, their personality traits, their behavioral traits. Badgers, if I remember correctly, are um, even if a larger animal tries to attack a badger, and it seems like the badger is really small compared to the large animal, maybe like a tiger, it's gonna fight for its life. It seems like I've heard that badgers are very, um, I don't know if the word aggressive, but they're gonna like make sure they're gonna fight, and trying to defend themselves. If that makes sense.
Mhm.
So something about that in the symbolism. We have another thing here. Um, Politics roulette. So it's one of those right here. It's one of those things that you see in Las Vegas that spins and turns, and there's a ball and it lands on a number, and the number 33 appeared on that. So politics roulette, right? We have the connect to your own heart beating. So spirit brings up the idea of grounding down into your own body and feeling your own heartbeat and like, instead of being in your head, it seems like a lot of people are really in their heads all the time, like, they're only thinking, 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 making lists and trying to do all this stuff, but they're not stopping and thinking about their own bodily health and vitals. And I think that sometimes health, issues can happen, and you're not paying attention to your own body and learning how your body communicates with you. So, spirit was showing, start with your own heartbeat, and feel it, and literally feel how your heart beats inside your body, and kind of ground into your body out of your mind, so it's not so in the mind. um, when they brought up the tiger, they did talk about the year of the tiger. Now I don't know really much about Chinese astrology, but if you guys want to investigate some of the things in the soul drawing, that's what it's supposed to happen. spirit brings together these kind of clues, and you're supposed to sort of investigate these things. What is the year of the tiger? What year is that? That would be interesting to look that up to find out what they're trying to say with that. Um, they talked about, so I did see volcanic activity. I did see like some shaking going on, so some quake activity um, that they brought up. This is monkey bread. So do you see this clump right here,
Yeah.
Mindy? So I don't know if you guys have had monkey bread, but monkey bread is basically bread that has sections. It's all clumped together, but it has sections so that you could pull off pieces. I think the last time I had it, it had cinnamon. It was like a snickerdoodle kind of flavor. Um, but they're showing monkey bread, and then Dr. Seuss came in and said, um, "More expression, two polar worlds, fountain of youth, and then fountain of youth, no more," is what he said. They brought up St. Jude's Hospital. A crisis is stirring.
Mm.
Okay, that it's kind of cryptic, but I just have to repeat what Spirit says, even if it doesn't make sense to me. It's meant for you guys to explore, for everybody kind of see what's going on. They're talking about ratios. Um, I don't know if they're me if they, when they talk about ratios, mathematically, I don't know if they're talking about like ratios of supplies or materials. They're talking about ratios. I did draw it next to the volcano. Maybe it has to do with supply rations to help with any kind of, if there's like a disaster, a natural disaster type thing, right?
Mm.
They talk about heroes in unlikely places. And then somebody said, "Nope, never again." So it's like something's happened before, and they're like, "Nope, never again." So maybe it seems like from what they're saying, that some people are waking up to saying, "No, we're gonna set boundaries on this. We're not gonna let this happen again." I did see a train, so with chemicals, so these big blue chemical canisters. I don't know if you see that right here.
Mhm.
This is a train car with these big giant drums of chemicals in it. So maybe there might be another attempt at some sort of train explosion or something with chemicals, and maybe there might be heroes in unlikely places. Somebody will stop the a second attack, and they're like, "Nope, never again,"
Mm.
because they see a pattern. They're like, "Okay, we better stop this now." Right? So we have and this is just I'm just gonna keep going around, and then we'll just discuss this. Morse code, signal from space. This is probably, it's been like maybe 2 or 3 times now that they've brought up something that has to do with contact from space. So some sort of code or signal from outer space, from other beings coming through here. We have, um and when I saw this is a mass grave site. When I saw a vision of this in my mind, it really did bring up emotion, so I drew, like, tears because my eyes felt like watering up with tears. It did feel, like devastation, like sorrow, sadness, grief, um, a mass grave of bodies discovered. So, something like that kinda came up. We have different numbers. They said 111222333. Could be discussing because spirit does communicate in numbers, so it could be discussing that type of thing. We have this is a ring. So when I drew this ring, I had a vision of Frodo from Lord of the Rings, and the ring. He showed the ring, but in the movies, the ring is a solid circle. In the vision, it was like it couldn't be connected. The circle can't connect to the itself, like to make a ring,
Mm. Mhm.
right?
Yep.
So something's preventing that from fully connecting and becoming a ring in itself.
Mm.
Um, Sometimes spirit does bring up specific politicians and people. They did bring up Biden. Um, they did bring up some sort of mask. and tomatoes being thrown at
mm,
him. So I just repeat what they say. They they showed me the tomatoes being thrown. Maybe there's just individuals that are not happy with how things are going in that direction. So, um, that's what how spirit showed it. We
okay.
have signs in the sky. So they showed a purple door.
Mm,
So I think this is like an interdimensional door that opened. Purple is like the higher chakras in your
mm.
chakra system, right? The psychic connection, the channeling of higher energies. So signs from the skies. And then they did bring up Nice, Italy, which I did not look this up. I have no idea if there really is a Nice, Italy. They just said Nice, Italy.
Hmm.
So, and then that's near the volcano. I don't know if it's going to be a volcanic eruption there or near there or something. Um, what else do we have here? And just making sure I hit all the major points on this before we discuss. Yeah, I think I did hit the major points on this drawing. So, Mindy, what would you like to talk about with this?
Well, there's so many things that come up, and the biggest thing was in that bottom section. You pull the paper over more towards you, get that bottom corner in towards you.
Oh,
There you go, perfect, with the bodies, and then kind of the cancer shot and the ring that won't close. Um, the heroes in unlikely places. The part about let's see, where was the other thing? Oh, the monkey bread and the St. Jude's and the problem there. Um, that one really kind of tripped me out when you said all of it. I didn't realize it when I looked at the drawing beforehand, but it fits this no more fountain of youth. For so many years they have been, there have been whispers of the adrenochrome, right, that they sup-
mhm,
um, supposedly extract from children and have been doing it through different methods of like immigration kids or kids falling through the system and just
mhm,
kind of this darker side of the world. And St. Jude's is supposed to be helping, but what if they're kind of part of that ring? What if they're draining the kids of life instead of trying to help them? Maybe there's something involved there, um, in kind of that darker realm that keeps getting exposed all around. And so for us to discover more with what that is, these mass graves could be of these children. There's so much
yeah,
feel has been uncovering through all that. And the ring that won't close is super interesting because I've been feeling for the planet Earth a lot that there is a really heavy brain dysfunction in addicts and um, maybe like cocaine addicts or alcoholics or places where people can't heal out of those places, but they're
yeah,
really like powerful, beautiful, light bringing people that have kind of lost that ability to connect, to get that full ring to this like God consciousness, to go through this open portal that just opened. Like it's either frying people and making them go crazy because they can't ground. Um, and so to kind of I've been looking, to see how to fit that ring. Like, is it a vibration we're missing on the planet? Is it something that we can, like they push out into media vibrational things to make us feel things? Is it something we can put out there to make people heal? Like that's what that reminds me of, is repairing that ring for people and finding whatever is that missing link. Um,
mhm,
the Kinda interesting that it's, like, cold, button up cold, and then heat crisis, and it's these big extremes. Everything seems to be very extreme, and when I first
yeah,
read the dance come crashing down, and I saw that, that reminded me of the Hoover Dam and, like, Las
Yeah.
Vegas, and there's been kind of, speculation that different things will happen there because of the water situation, or so that kinda makes me think about that place over there, um, and wondering if that's connected. I don't really know the Italy Nice thing. It feels like those are all items of where, like, big political or current events will happen and occur where maybe, the
Yeah.
change could happen. Like, knowing this now, maybe we something can be prevented, or
Yeah.
what's the mirrors, or what does it say? Mers du Sode in the blue underneath the dam where it says connect to
Oh, it's Morse code, signal from space.
Morse code signal from space. Okay. Okay, I couldn't read what that was. So that's really cool. I feel like there's been a lot more connection with space and what could be coming from there and other entities. Maybe they learn to speak to us through Morse code. Who knows? That's cool. I
Yeah,
don't really,
or simple communications or something that's simple because Morse code is just
yeah,
dots and dashes.
yeah, simple. Maybe they've been communicating with us all along.
And we need to listen to our own heartbeats, so ground into our own ourselves to hear them. Because if
That
we're all in our heads, la la la, it's checklists and all these things, we're not paying attention to the smaller voices that are inside.
Yeah, that one was really powerful to me too. I'm glad you brought that up. I've been feeling these higher energies and how kind of like, oh, you're going to either grow crazy or expand at this point in time. That it's been calling me to connect with trees and like touch the trees and walk the trees and really feel the time of trees and feel myself next to the tree, put my back on the tree and just be
Mhm.
and connect, and it feels always so, it's almost like getting cuddled by a person. It's so comforting, the feeling, and helps me and would help anyone ground. Just that really
Mhm.
cool concept throughout this time is to keep grounded in yourself and know how to calm yourself down as the energies and the frequencies rise around us. We can use our beautiful nature that we were put in place with, that harmonizes with the planet and can help us kind of bridge that gap. So where that ring is missing, that maybe that's what it is that connection with animals and nature
Mhm.
that I feel so deeply we all had, where we could all communicate before together. And now we're like separate. Even I separated myself from the trees knowing I could freaking talk to them. I lived here a whole year and didn't really talk to most of them. It was kind of crazy how even someone that's thinking they're tuned in really isn't tuned in. So, what a powerful frequency we can ask of others to get in tune with everybody through those trees, just in your yard, or walk down the road and just sit with your back on a tree. If you don't want to look like a tree hugger, but you can't just, hug it with your heart. And
Yeah.
that's, oh,
Or I challenge us to all hug a tree because the trees are all connected through their own network, their own consciousness.
yeah.
So hugging a tree, and if someone makes fun of you, just be like, "Oh well, I'm respecting and loving nature."
Yeah. Who cares if anyone makes fun of us?
Yeah, just be you.
Just be you. Just do you. What's
Just do
gonna,
you.
yeah.
Well, something kind of occurred to me also while you were talking about that. Because the tiger, even though I drew it next to this dam, and then the three pipes, it almost looks like a caged tiger. And you know that expression about caged tigers, it kind of reminds me of anxiety and feeling trapped, feeling like caged, like a tiger. And
Mhm.
tigers aren't meant to be caged, they're meant to be free and roaming. And so it's like we're not meant to be living the lives that we're living where we're just stuck in these buildings and we're not connecting with nature and we're just live going day to day and just not really going outside of our like work like we're working ourselves to death in some ways.
Mhm.
We're not loving ourselves or listening to our own heartbeat, our own body and what it's trying to tell us.
Yeah, we need to do more of that. That's for sure. It always knows.
Mhm. Is there anything that you would else like to say on this?
Yeah, on the signs in the skies, I have been really noticing even the constellations look different. Even the moon and the sun are doing a little bit different patterns than I've ever noticed before. And sometimes
Yeah,
things look bigger than they normally are. And I feel I'm stepping into a different dimension. And I'm
yeah,
wondering what it is, to the point where even like my dad was saying he was noticing the sky's different and that things are going different. And he's, a farmer, so that's good that he's noticing that, but also little bit different perspective than like a more, magically oriented person. So we've got these two different minds that are seeing the same things. And then I've heard a few other people say, the skies are changing, they're different.
yeah.
And
You're right on that.
I don't know exactly what it is, but pay attention, go be curious and watch for yourselves and see this for yourself. Um I don't know exactly what it means. It almost, to me, feels like it could be a merging of timelines from another dimension, or they're changing the video game around that we're in, or something's, really scientifically happening with the planets where the magnetism here is way different, which I think with the increasing visibility and distance of the northern lights shows that there's a lot of this geothermal activity that's not normally happening that we've been aware of. Maybe it's happened on Earth before, but we haven't been here long enough to see it.
Yeah,
Um, that is also at play as well, and so it's just a lot of pieces to put together. I usually don't know what all your pieces mean until we look back, 3 or 4 months later. And it's like, oh, that makes so much sense. That's where that came from, and that came from. And um, I think the really powerful parts about what do we have with your three animals? So we've got the badger, the tiger, and then what's the one on the very top?
it's a peacock.
Peacock. Okay, so
Asia.
in Asia.
Yeah, so associated with Asia.
Okay, so we'll start with the peacock. So peacocks are like very flamboyant, very. Oh, I can't hear you. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Okay.
Mhm.
Peacocks are known in my like animal world as a very showy, very beautiful, very creative, fun, um, proud bird. And so maybe that's that piece of the inside of, people following their hearts is like bring out your inner peacocks, bring out all your unique, beautiful colors. Um, but maybe something specifically peacocks in Asia is going to, create some awareness, maybe a peacock talks or something. That would be really cool. With the badger, the energetics of the badger is to protect your space and to be aware that everything around you isn't always what it seems. So to have kind of that badger mentality ready if you need to protect your loved ones, yourself, maybe energetically also protecting yourself. Having quartz crystals and black stones in your home, I think, can be also powerful and helpful with those colors of that badger coming in with that.
Mhm.
Um, the tiger is like very powerful, sleek, unique. All the stripes again are like individual. So all tigers have different stripe patterns than the others. And again, in your powerful ways of going throughout all these changes, it's like honoring your different colored stripes and honoring other people's different colored stripes. Let people have their fantasy about whatever they want to be, or don't let it interfere with you, kind of like honor the individuality within one another, and keep that vibration up so we can continuously connect people on planet Earth instead of divide us like they're trying with all the wars and the hateful messages they're saying about different, Jews or Palestinians or however they're placing it in the media at this
Mhm.
time. Just pay attention to more like, how can you love those people? How can you love all these people you're saying, you're against? Looking for the other directions, but still
Yeah.
having that ability to protect oneself, but maybe not necessarily in the way of violence and war, but more in the like smart ways, since we've opened the portal to this other dimensional space, like realizing maybe more of our lucid dreaming powers, or like our ability to change our consciousness through our own self, through our own third eye door into our minds, kind of going more inward than focusing so much on the outward wars and different dramas.
Yeah. Well, also, so playing off what you said earlier about the ring and all that, um, because we could go the opposite. We could be balanced or severely unbalanced. And if we remember back with the movie, The Lord of the Rings, anyone who touched the ring became completely obsessed with it, to the point where they came out of their own identity. So they weren't connected to who they are, their own identity. They weren't grounded at all. And their main, everything that they embodied became only about possessing it,
Mm,
like some sort of possession. Um, so this ring can't connect, and it's like people have they felt that they tried to possess or control certain things, and they kind of have to let go and go with the flow and not force things, right? And sometimes that's like that in our lives, that we need to just see how it goes and not be so controlled or obsessive about a certain outcome, if that makes sense.
yeah.
But if we kind of unite together and see how spirit is showing these kind of number patterns, we're all given these signs and symbols of, kind of trust, have some more trust in yourself and in how things can unfold in the world.
Yeah, I really like that. That's a great piece of advice to think about as we go through this crazy, crazy life of all the negative things being thrown in our face all the time about what's wrong with the world. And
Yeah.
mm,
Well, sour milk too, like there's a noose with sour milk. We have sour milk with a noose. And I think some people like, I would think that if you were going to drink sour milk, like even start drinking it, that it would make you kind of gag and be like, "Ugh, this is sour milk. Ugh, it's gross," and like spit it out and stuff, or maybe even throw up.
for sure.
Oh yeah, and underneath the peacock it says, "It will seem serious except it's not." So maybe something coming, another big event in the world that you just kind of trust. You need to trust that, spirit will show you the signs, and kind of just trust that it will be okay. It's not going to be as serious as it seems. And not to have so much stress and anxiety about it. Just stay calm with it. Stay grounded. Stay focused on your own path and your life, your heartbeat.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Mhm. I don't know, do we get questions on here? On this, platform?
We can get questions. There's one person. Um,
I don't know if and whoever is watching, if you have any questions, you feel free to ask. We're happy to answer, your questions.
Um, yeah, I don't see anyone chatting right now.
Okay, no worries. Um, we can initiate if anyone in the future has any questions. Don't hesitate to message us about it, about the soul drawing or anything about what we've talked about today.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything else other than, maybe we can do this again sometime
Yes,
with
I think that
this
is sound.
soul drawing and maybe go back in the future and go back to this one and like after the quarter or something and see what's come up. What we were doing in the past was so much fun, and now we're just kind of creating our own little fun space right here where we can't be together in person anymore. We're all the way across the
Yeah,
country. On
yeah,
YouTube, we can be live together and still get to work together and share our fun magic with you guys. Um, we have a couple things going on that are also pretty fun to check out if you're into this kind of more spiritual and science and outside other realms, other dimensions, being more curious about our world. We are in a show called Mystic Detectives, which is also on YouTube, and you can just type Mystic Detectives or youtube.com/Mystic Detectives and follow our episodes. We do everything from ghost hunting to channeling people that have passed on to exploring shamans and fire baptisms and all kinds of things out there in the world that may be more mystical. And we bring science and technology by different measurement devices that we use in all of our episodes to explore, for instance, brain waves or the EMF field around us, or radiation field, or um, spirit boxes, or Ouija boards, or just all kinds of cool stuff to tap into the other side and explore more of what we don't know. And um, check that out. We release episodes every few weeks on, I believe it's Mondays. And I
hmm
think next Monday there will be a new episode coming out. But all the way in the first one is the one that Caroline is in. That was a big one we did. It's our longest episode, and it's an hour. What did you like about filming that, Caroline? The first episode, well, I guess I'll just kind of say the first episode is about a bunch of different mediums. We go not able to talk to each other or knowing about the locations, and we go to a cemetery as well as an old one of the first Mormon church ever built in Utah, but not having any information or able to talk to one another. We go through the experience with cameras following us, infrared cameras, as well
hmm
as EKG meters on our brain. So it's showing what our brain waves are doing. And then we're kind of exploring around and being filmed. And basically, that's what that is. So, what
yeah.
do you think was your favorite? What did you learn from that experience?
What I liked about it is I like that they measure our brainwaves for one thing to kind of validate that our brainwaves do change when we put ourselves in an altered state of consciousness. Um, each space was different. I would say that the castle space was so I call it the castle because that's what they call it now, but the building, it was a building they went into that had been owned by multiple different organizations. And that had a sort of different layout of how the energy was um, imprinted in the space because it had been kind of moved around a lot, shuffled around. What I liked about the experience is I like that we could just say what we needed, what we felt, just say simply what we felt, what we channeled of that space because it's an imprint of energy that's left behind in the space. So we just kind of just said, okay, this is what we're feeling in each different room. We were separated, so each of us didn't even talk to each other. until after all of us had gone through the whole entire building, one at a time. So we had no indication, of our intuition. We were like, okay, this is what we're feeling. But we had validation later on things that lined up between all of us. We all felt it to sort of show that this is something that multiple people have felt about this space. The um the graveyard was interesting because it was um there's a lot of history in that land, but there was also disasters and fires and things like that that kind of came up in our channelings. And it had a different it seems like there's not as many people walk through that area as much. So it had a different layout of how the imprinted memories and energies were presented to us. So I thought it was a really great experience. I really enjoyed it. Um, I think it was fun to kind of see the history of a place through the eyes of the spirits there and what do they have to say about it. And kind of like what I did with the soul drawing is what voices want to be heard, what messages need to come through about a space to help sort of heal the space, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a very powerful experience in both of those locations for sure. I feel like the strongest one was the art castle, um, which is pretty interesting because just its roots and then the stuff that happened there and uncovered all kinds of mysteries of Utah. But unfortunately, that is not in the episode. So those are things that are still left to be unturned and aren't ready to escape into the ethers yet, I believe, unfortunately. But, you know,
Yeah, and if anyone on here has, any questions, because the episode, it's like a little, it's longer, like a little bit less than a movie length, so about just
mm,
over an hour, but not quite 2 hours. Um, it's a documentary, so they only have certain amount of time to show how us, a certain amount of footage per psychic that it went through, and so if anybody's interested, we could, Mindy and I could talk about additional things that we've saw because we did see a lot more than what was shown in the documentary. Um, or just wondering what we felt in each space. We can kind of go through it if anyone's interested in a future episode.
yeah, it's a great idea. When we're
Hmm.
rich and famous, I'm sure they'll find this video and then we'll be sorry we said it.
Yeah.
4,000 messages. What happened? What's going on?
Yeah. Yeah, it was interesting. And we'll do some more stuff in the future. There's a lot of spaces around the entire United States that we could travel to that has a lot to say.
Yeah, we're excited for what the future holds and on Mystic Detectives. And we'll post the link down below, but you can just go up in your search bar since you're on YouTube and type Mystic Detectives and we'll come right up. Um, what else was there? Is there anything else, Caroline? I think you're frozen though. Your face
No.
is frozen on the screen. So maybe we're done. Oh, there you are.
Oh, hey. Yeah, sorry. My phone is about to lose power, so that's what it was just letting me know that it had low battery.
Oh, okay. So I was like, "Oh, you're frozen." Okay. Is there anything else that we wanted?
No,
I
I think we covered it. Again, if you have any questions, let us know. Um,
oh, send us
we
a
can only just say what Spirit says.
um send us a message and below I'll also post Caroline's Instagram for the soul drawing so you can get a hold of her if you want to get your very own soul drawing, which I've had before. They're really neat. They'll look very similar to what she had shown on screen, but it will be about your own soul. And it's incredibly accurate and really powerful and really fun. Caroline just has a really fun way of looking at things and bringing out the color even in the darkness. So it's nothing to be nervous or scared about, but very curious and wonderful. And um, support her and her great works. And we'll be back sometime soon.
Yeah.
We're trying to figure out, if this gets any views and what what we should talk about, what's interesting, how often people want to listen or see us. And so we're going to try for, once a month right now, but if we get more traction, then maybe we'll progress. So,
Well, thank you very much, everybody who watched this video and in the future watching a recording of this as well. Thanks for looking up our video.
yeah, thanks for hanging out with us. Appreciate y'all.
Mhm. Thank you so much.
Okay, toodaloos.
All right, bye.